Everybody make sure you're filling out your little comment cards. Now that I was able to sit down, mine are getting filled in nicely. Helps our speakers improve. Next, I'll be introducing our final speaker. Tim Linger is approaching his 8th year as a Toastmaster in this club. Tim is our current VP of Public Relations. From his third pathway, level 5, involving the audience, Tim Linger's speech is titled Home Equity Release Programs in Retirement. Here is Toastmaster Tim Linger.
Good morning, Toastmasters.
Good morning.
Rockefeller, Vanderbilt, Flagler, what do they all have in common? They're rich. We're rich. Barbara Corcoran, Donald Trump, what do they have in common? They've gotten rich off of real estate. It's interesting. Is real estate the way to go to become rich? It's one way. We have Steve Jobs and Bill Gates. They got rich a different way. But real estate is the number one way to build wealth. So I ask you, is it a good idea, especially as a young person, to purchase a home? One person. Good, thank you. Why would it be a good idea to purchase a home? Appreciation. So you're paying into this house, either by maintaining it. But how do you acquire the house in the first place? Do you borrow? Usually. What's wrong with just paying cash for it as a young person? So you really have no choice but to borrow it. And you're putting yourself in debt for 30 years potentially. But you're building wealth. Is it okay to refinance that house after it builds some equity?
Yes.
Why not? Maybe a better rate. Maybe you need to purchase some items. And in those years, you're also contributing, hopefully, into a 401k or an IRA. Why would you do that? To build wealth. To save for retirement. Fast forward to retirement. And now you're potentially living on a fixed income. Would you ever withdraw from your IRA or 401k? Would you? And what if you withdrew from it but had to pay it back? But first of all, we're expecting to withdraw from our IRA when we retire. But what if in retirement you needed additional funds? Now, you're a homeowner, fortunately, but how do you get additional funds in retirement? Sell the house. There's actually about 4 different options. At least I can think of 4 options right now. One is to sell the house and lease it back. Sell your house to an investor and then rent it back. It's an option. You could sell your house and just go somewhere else and rent. Another program would be a 30-year mortgage in retirement to extract your funds. The downside of that would be you have to pay it back. And in retirement, it's all about cash and cash flow. Other options would be an FHA program called a HECM, which is a type of reverse mortgage. The nice thing about this particular equity release program is that monthly payments are optional. A lot of people would say no mortgage payments, which is true. So a type of equity release would be to do a refinance of your home using some type of reverse mortgage, in particular the FHA HECM. It's not the only option. In fact, in some cases, the HECM doesn't work. The HECM has limitations. There's credit requirements, there's income requirements, although less than traditional financing, but there's also requirements of home loan to value based on what the home is worth, what a person's age is, how much they can pull out from their home. And if they had refinanced their home in the last 30 years, maybe they still owe too much, even in retirement, to make a reverse mortgage type of program work. Maybe you're short to close. So what does a person do in retirement? if the above options weren't their best choice. There's another program that's an equity release program that's offered by investors. Just like the wealthiest people in this country have gotten wealthy not by using their own money, but getting people to partner with them, sell shares of stock like Microsoft did, or Donald Trump would buy a big building, not with his money. He'd get investors, and maybe he'd do a 50-50 split with them. Or maybe he would keep 25% and the investors would do 75%. Whatever it took, the most important thing is to have cash and cash flow. So home equity investments, or an investor for home equity, is an opportunity for a retiree, in fact any age, to sell a portion of their property with no mortgage payments. It's like a reverse mortgage, except with a reverse mortgage you own 100% of the home, but you have to qualify. With the equity release program, where it's an equity share, you're selling approximately 15% of your home's value, but you still own the home. It's like a silent investor. They don't make any decisions. If you want to pay it back early, you can. If you want to rent out a bedroom, you can. It's the next best thing to a reverse mortgage. It's the next best thing to draining your retirement funds, your 401k. It's an option. And the nice thing about it, it's an option for people even under age 62, which is the minimum age for a HECM reverse mortgage. It allows people to extract equity without putting themselves back into debt. And more importantly, no required payments. Toastmasters, I hope I've given you an option, a way of thinking about different ways to tap into funds during retirement, because you, and you will be retired one day. Thank you, Toastmasters.